Let's go.
What's up, everyone? We're here for another different segment. We're doing a whole nother thing. We're talking about everything sports. I'm joined with a new person, Dante. If you guys don't know him, he's a good friend of mine. He knows a lot about sports, you know what I'm saying? So we're glad to have him here. And then obviously you guys know Mac from
Back in the hat. What's happening?
He obviously knows a lot about sports too. So we decided to combine with our sports knowledge and talk all about sports to make Flag on D Play.
Flag on D Play.
It's a new segment. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. And hopefully you guys want to come in, talk with us, argue with us about our favorite teams and stuff like that. But let's I kind of want Dante to introduce himself. What's your favorite teams and stuff? Get the people to know you.
Yo, everybody, it's Dante. Man, my favorite teams, I'm rocking everything ATL, basically. I got the Falcons, I got the Bulldogs, I got the Braves. We rocking. We all looking good, Falcons are on the little come up, rebuild station.
Are they?
A little bit, we're working on it. Braves on that first round today. We're going to see what they got going into the playoffs. The Dogs play tonight. Tough matchup against Kentucky, little night game. We'll see what they got. It's going to be a good game.
So it should be exciting this year. I haven't paid attention to them.
Kentucky, they look good. They got a good defense, bro. Real good defense. Their O-line is solid. They just whooped Florida running for
they did.
300 yards or something on the ground.
Yeah, their running back was running all over them. It was disgusting.
Yeah, abused them, bro. They got a super heavy O-line, so.
Well, for those of you that don't know me, I'm Mac, but favorite teams, of course, going to be America's team. And if you live in America, you pay taxes to America, you support America, you want America to be great, then yes, you are a Cowboys fan. I'm also a big time Lakers fan, big USC fan, all West Coast type shit, you feel me? But I'll be here talking shit. When I say something done, call me out on it because I'm going to stand on it.
No, that's fair. For those who don't know me, you guys are obviously going to hate me as soon as I tell you guys my favorite teams, but I'm a big Patriot fan. I'm a big Mets fan. I'm a big OKC fan. I don't really have a college team. I kind of just like all college football. So I kind of just vibe with it. So I don't know. We're going to have to see. Because I don't know. I just don't believe in having a college team. There's just too many colleges to have a favorite team, in my opinion.
No, you only say that because you come from an area that doesn't have college football excellence.
Okay? True.
It's champions where I'm from. I don't know. I'm just saying.
True.
I guess that's fair. I mean, UW's had their years of excellence. Not very many, but
I remember back in like the 80s or something. I remember something.
Before we was born type shit.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, those are my favorite teams. I don't really watch hockey. UFC, I don't really have a favorite fighter yet, but
UFC definitely it was Israel Adesanya for like the last couple years.
Ooh, yeah, Izzy's been riding that. He's been riding that until this last.
And I was a big Khabib fan.
I really like Volk. I don't know. I'm a big Volk fan.
I don't know. John Jones for me always gonna be.
He fucked it up.
John Jones, my guy.
He fucked it up, man. I got bad feelings. I got bad energy for him. He fucked it up. He could have did so much more with the sport.
Oh, he could have for sure. But with what he's done screwing around, man, that's top tier. He's different.
I couldn't imagine. Still beating championships.
No, seriously. But we're not going to talk about that today. We're going to talk about some of the rookies in the NFL season. I have like 15 or 16 of them brought up with their stats and everything. I don't think we're going to rank them today. I don't think it's kind of fair. It's, some have mixed some games. Some have been
so early.
I do want to get an overall grasp of how you guys feel. But I do want to start with the first pick of the draft, Bryce Young. I know he's only played 3 games, but his QBR is at 24.7. His completion is at 65%. He's only had 503 passing yards and only 2 tutties. He's also thrown 4 interceptions on the season. No, he's only thrown 2. My bad. He's only thrown 2 interceptions on the season. How do you guys feel about
him? For me, I always thought he was a little small. I like Stroud better in college, but they really like him down in Carolina. And I think I just saw reports earlier this week that They're trying to get a number one wide receiver, trade for a number one wide receiver.
Oh, it's almost if they didn't have one already.
Right? I was like, wait. Who are the Panthers again? Who was on their team last year? That's
Exactly.
crazy. But they want a bona fide number one across the field. So, and they're willing to trade anything for it. That's what it sounded like. Which they need to, because it's just crazy bringing in quarterbacks. I mean, Adam Thielen, yeah, he was a beast 5 years ago, but them legs ain't the same.
No,
yeah, that's one thing I agree with is I think schemes for quarterbacks, what they're coming into, I don't think Bryce Young really came into an environment that would help him grow. There's not a bunch of, really good vets on the team that can kind of grow and guide him and bail him out in situations where he may need someone to just kind of be that reliant guy. Like, they got Thielen, but he's not really that reliant. Like, I can always look his way, you know what I mean, and rely on him to be open, or you know what I mean. His O-line situation is rough. He's not getting good pockets. He's getting a lot of pressure. Yeah, so it's just he's kind of in a situation right now where it's just not set up for him to be super successful yet. And they really need to do, like you were saying, go out and get that number one pick, trade for whoever, you know what I mean, and put some help around him on offense, because it's just not working out with what they got for him.
Yeah. I don't want to get too much into it, but I'm never a fan of drafting a quarterback when you have nothing else. You just got to run them into the ground. Build inside out.
You need a supporting cast. You need a supporting cast.
And I think he starts this week, so I think he's playing against the Lions. How do you guys feel about his line? Do you think he's ever gonna ball out this season not having supporting cast, or do you think he's just gonna be?
I think he's middle of the pack the whole way through.
Yeah, I think he's just gonna be mid-tier, especially a team like the Lions, where they got a super good D line. Their linebacker core is doing super well. They've picked up the rookie Deion Branch, who came into a perfect system for him. Their schemes are just, I think, going to be too advanced for him. They're going to know how to throw different coverages at him.
And they play with the energy of their coach.
Exactly, and it's super high energy. They're super aggressive and physical. I just think that's a bad matchup for Bryce at this rate. A lot of pressure, a lot of blitzes. He's going to have to make quick reads with accurate passes. I think it's going to be a tough matchup for him this week, for sure.
Yeah, I'd have to agree for that, for sure.
So pick up the Lions defense this week, y'all.
No, seriously, right. The Lions defense for sure. Well, let's move on to the number 2 pick, CJ Stroud. He's been doing a lot better on the Texans. His QBR is a 57.5. His completion rate is a 62.3. He has 1,212 passing yards and 6 tutties on the season, and he doesn't have a single interception yet, which I believe he actually set a record, or he was like fourth quarterback to do it or something. First 4 games, throw for over 1,000 yards and a bunch of attempts and completions without throwing an interception, which is pretty impressive. So, especially on the Texans, you know what I mean?
Super impressive.
Which is surprising. I didn't expect. I expected what Bryce is going through with that. I expected them both to go through that same route. That first year. But shit, Texans kind of turned the organization around, I guess. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, I watched a little film on CJ because I was interested. He's been throwing for 350, 400 yards, and I was just interested in, like the type of scheme that the Texans have him running. And they really have him set up in a perfect scheme where they're getting the ball out of his hands quick. They're bringing a lot of motions across the field, making it easier for him to break down the coverages that he's looking at. And it's really working out for him, getting the ball out, letting him make quick reads, not forcing him to sit in the pocket for super long and hold the ball. I think those are really big things that are advancing CJ, and that the Panthers are struggling and able to get Bryce to be able to do.
And it's kind of crazy because I think he has a rookie wide receiver he's been throwing to Tank Dell, and then he also has a only a couple year in Nico Collins wide receiver, so he doesn't even really have a veteran wide receiver to throw to. But he has young talent that he can throw to, Yeah,
so, he does have a lot of young talent in the scheme.
Who's his receiving core?
Nico Collins, Tank Dell. I don't know who the third one is, but I know they have Damian Pierce in the backfield, which is also a big help as well. So
he's a good catch out the back. Catch out the backfield.
But I have big hopes about CJ Stroud. He like you said, he has a scheme that fits him. And if he continues to do this pace, he might just win Rookie of the Year. He's on good pace right now. We'll see. There's other candidates that are up there that I like.
Definitely.
But
he'd be in the top three.
But and he has 2 dubs, so he's won 2 games and he's just been balling out. So we'll have to continue to see.
If he can at least get him to like 8 wins, 9 wins, that's impressive to me.
Big impressive.
Do you think he could get the Texans to the playoffs or no?
I mean, the Colts, I'm not really worried about them. Texans, Colts. No, I don't think they're getting in.
Yeah, I don't. It would be tough. I think it wouldn't be if they didn't. I don't think it would be his fault exactly. I don't think he has to play superb football for them to make it in. But I think it would just be the supporting cast, like the defense, just other players around him. Just what I mean. The defense has given up a lot of points. They've been in a couple shootouts here, and against higher ranked NFL teams, it's not going to be doable to win games like that.
Which is fair. And that actually kind of leads me to the third pick, Will Anderson Jr., who's also on the Texans. He's a defensive end for them. So far, he has 15 tackles. Looks like 10 of them are solo, and 1 sack. He doesn't have any forced fumbles or no interceptions. But from what I've watched, he does get pressure onto the quarterback. And he fights off the blocks well, and he gets pressure into that backfield, and he hasn't like really balled out like I feel like he should have and should be. What do you guys feel like?
I mean, he's averaging 5 tackles a game. I'm not gonna act like I've been paying attention to him so much, just about what they talk about like on NFL Network, to be honest with you, because Texans just aren't in my market. But
right.
I mean, from the stats, it seemed like he's just okay. We'll see.
Yeah.
I feel like you get a better grade around game 10, but he's definitely not going to be in the defensive rookie of the year contest in my eyes.
Yeah, I think he's more of like a solid pickup right now. I mean, he gets decent quarterback pressure. I mean, he's making good solo tackles throughout the game. I mean, not like a game-changing type of player, but I think he's going to make plays here and there that you need and kind of be like a good role player on that defense, but nothing that's super outstanding or someone to keep your eye on for future reference,
Which is fair. And yeah, he like you said, he's a good ball player. And I feel like once he gets those few years to develop, he could become a top defensive player.
Definitely. He has a good ceiling for potential right now. It's just, we're not sure if he's going to hit that mark yet with what he's producing.
That, and then it also has to do with coaching too. If he has good coaching backing him. I know Texans are notorious for bad coaching, so we're definitely gonna have to see going forward. But yeah, I don't think you'll like win rookie defensive player of the year or anything like that.
Nah.
So on to the 4th pick, which is one I'm kind of like excited for. Anthony Richardson. He went to the Colts. Man's been balling. I mean, he missed 1 game because of concussion, but I mean he's still balling out. His QBR is a 53.4, his completions a 56.9, 479 passing yards is crazy. 3 touchdowns. I know it's not a lot, but he also has
he's like 2 rushing, doesn't he?
Yeah, he has a bunch of rushing yards.
He has 3 or 4 rushing too, I think.
Yeah, maybe 3.
He has, it doesn't have the total, but just quick math for me, he has like 180 yards rushing. So that kind of evens out, with also like 4 rushing tutties as well. So he has 7 tutties on the year.
Well, you know what?
Himself.
I just said I'm not worried about the Colts, but I believe they just signed their running back to a 3-year deal.
Yeah, they just signed JT to a big deal.
They just signed JT a couple hours ago. So yeah, I mean, if JT comes back like he was 2 years ago, or even half of that, really, this could be a different story now that I'm thinking about it, because that's almost a dual rushing backfield. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and I love Michael Pittman. He went to USC, so it could be a good future for the Colts.
I agree.
And I definitely think after last week too, when they were down 23-0 or whatever, and Anthony Richardson brought him back, kind of just showed that he can, even though they didn't win the game because their defense kind of let up at the end. It did still, though, that Anthony Richardson can make comeback games and that he is a ball player. He's not going to give up like it seems like some of these other teams and players do.
He's a gamer.
So,
He's a gamer.
You know, and I know a lot of people are talking a bunch of shit like of the Colts drafting him fourth and stuff like that. So it's stoked to see him balling out and proving them wrong and going absolutely crazy. So hopefully he can keep it up. I think he's definitely a top candidate for Rookie of the Year if he continues if he continues to keep doing what he's doing. So.
Yeah, JT signing is a big deal for them. He reminds me a lot of a Cam Newton type player, where he needs a lot of reassurance. He's going to need a lot of help, you know, and he needs to get down when he runs the ball. Yes. I think that's one of the biggest things. He's taken a lot of big hits already.
He's solid though. He's not Lamar Jackson. He's solid.
Oh no, he's very accurate with the ball. I mean, some of his
like
better,
body.
But he's very solid. He's strong, and I just think that, you know, getting downfield, Lamar he's super jukey, and you know, he's quick to get down and kind of make big hits into a lesser hit by, you know, positioning his body a better way. And I think that he should, if he can get that down and in protecting himself while running the ball, he's going to be a big threat here in like 2 to 3 years once he develops a little more.
Yeah, I have big hopes for him. Do you think you're confident starting him as a fantasy quarterback every week?
Yeah, I would be if I had him.
Every week, I'd say, definitely because of his dual threat ability. Just being able to pull the ball and get out of the pocket and scramble and get yards really puts a lot of pressure on the defense. It doesn't matter what defense you're playing. Like that's just a big deal. Is trying to keep track of the quarterback in the backfield. It's a big thing.
I got him in the same box as Justin Fields. I drafted Justin Fields. I ended up benching him week 2 and 3, and then of course he fucking balls the fuck out when he's on my bench. But right. I like both of those guys. I don't really like them. I don't really like Justin Fields so much, but I feel comfortable starting him every week. Richardson, he's going to be able to affect the game in more ways than just one, and so yeah, he definitely gets a start.
Okay. Well, let's move on to the 5th pick then, which is Devin Witherspoon, Seahawk cornerback. He just came off a really big Monday night game. I mean, it was against the Giants, but the kid was still balling out. I mean, he was going crazy, but he has 23 tackles on the year, 2 sacks. I know he has a pick 6, and he has 4 passes defended. Yep. So, I mean, guy's going crazy. He has 16 solo tackles out of his 23 tackles.
That's the guy that's around the ball, and that means like it's always impressive when you get DBs that got solo tackles. That means you're tackling in space. You know how to break down, or you know how to take angles. So I love that. I love that.
100%. I think the Seahawks made a great pick in picking him up. He was a great corner in college. He goes into a system with Pete Carroll that, you know, they developed the Legion of Boom there. They developed Richard Sherman. They run a lot of zones. They like to keep their corners playing ball, watching ball. And he's a ball hawk type of corner where, you know, if you give him freedom to run around and make plays and trust his instincts, he's going to do that. And I think the Seahawks are really allowing him to grow and flourish and just being himself and allowing him to play free. And that's I feel like that's what we're seeing, just flying around, making plays on the ball, coming downhill, attacking the line of scrimmage. Like, he's got potential to be a really good corner coming up here.
Keep that name out there.
What is that corner who does he remind you of that used to be a Seattle player and that used to always go crazy? I mean, I already know it, but who do you guys picture him as?
In the last couple of years?
I'd say last 10 years.
I mean, Richard Sherman was the only one. Well, I mean, you had Cam and you had their safeties. What are you talking about?
They had Cam, Earl Thomas.
Love Earl Thomas.
Yeah,
I'm forgetting the other corner's name, but yeah, they had Sherman and I feel like I'm disrespecting
Sherman,
him.
Earl Thomas, Cam, and
I'm forgetting the other corner's name of the Legion of Boom.
I don't know why we're drawing a blank here on this.
And I just gave my son my phone. I can't even Google it.
No, but he does remind me of like a young Sherman, man. Mine's flying everywhere, making plays. He hits well.
But Sherman couldn't really defend, and man, he was only good in zone, especially the end of his career.
True.
And that's why, you know, media gets things mixed up. and stuff because Sherman got so popular, and then you would see Sherman get cooked. I'm like, oh, he was never a man-on-man guy anyways.
Yeah, that's what the Seahawks did a good job protecting him, staying in a lot of zone defenses. They had 2 really good safeties, so they didn't have to run a lot of man-to-man, you know what I mean? They had a good D-line, so they didn't have to. And I think that they protected Richard and not, making him follow number 1 receivers around on the field. He really was just on one side of the field 24/7 and able to just make plays on that side of the field. And that's where I think that they should, broaden Devin Witherspoon and kind of let him follow wide receivers and let him be everywhere on the field and allow him to play that man-to-man coverage and grow his game.
And I have high hopes for Devin Witherspoon because I played cornerback and DB myself, so I relate to him a lot. So hopefully he continue to keep balling out. The 6th and 7th pick really haven't been really doing much. Parents Johnson Jr., tackle, he's been doing all right. Tyree Wilson, edge for the Raiders. I don't really heard much of him. He didn't really jump right into the starting role there. So
I don't even remember that guy. I'll be honest with you.
Exactly. I'm saying he hasn't done much. But that leads to the 8th pick, who has been going crazy and has been doing stuff. Bijan Robinson. He's a running back for the Falcons. Dante's favorite team. He's averaging about 6 yards of rush with 318 rushing yards, 53 rush attempts, which is actually crazy for the first 4 games. His passing yards is roughly 130 from what I'm seeing, which is actually pretty good on like 20 pass attempts. That's pretty good. So
the Falcons are so lucky right now.
They are. They're in a lucky situation.
He's really carrying them.
100%.
He's really carrying that whole offense.
100%.
If they could get a quarterback that could throw a ball accurately and can hand the ball off perfectly, dude, they might be Super Bowl contenders for sure.
Yeah, that draft for Bijan, he came into a great scheme. I mean, the Falcons for the last 2 years, we've been beefing up our O-line. We're big on counters, traps, trying to spread out the defense, run into the boundaries, quick plays and things like that, where he kind of jumped into a system where we can include him in that right away. We had Cordero Patterson, where he's basically a younger version of him, where he's just a straight baller. He can do anything. He can run routes. He can run between the tackles, outside the tackles. He can make moves on anybody. And so I think he's basically, he's big. He's strong. He runs downhill. He's never going backwards when he's getting hit. He's always falling forward for extra yards. I think he has a super bright future, especially on a team that, on average runs the ball 25 times a game.
He's definitely not the guy I want to see coming down the line, honestly. Like the way he carries the ball, his biceps kind of cover the ball a little bit, and they be flexing like, damn, I got to hit this motherfucker.
In the late fourth quarter, that's not the man you want to be coming downhill at you.
He started leaning on
Jukes moves are crazy too, so it's like,
you
really got to break him down, and if you're not, you're getting shifted or you're getting ran over. So it's like you really got to tackle this man perfectly. So
exactly,
I think he's another good candidate for Rookie of the Year. I mean, he only has 1 touchdown for the year, but I know that the Falcons really haven't scored much other than like 1 game. So it's no disrespect to the Falcons, but
all disrespect to Riddler. He's in the lead for quarterback to be benched. First quarterback to be benched this year.
So I don't know. Mac Jones already beat him too. I mean, I know he's starting this week, but
that game was over with though.
Yeah, they sat him down to try and get some life.
I don't want to talk about that game. That game never happened in my eyes, okay?
That was embarrassing. I turned the game on. It was already over. I was like, what the fuck?
Time to move on to the number 9 pick, which is also, he's been doing really good, which I can't believe he fell this far. Jalen Carter on the Eagles, defensive tackle. Man has, he doesn't have like the best of stats, but if you actually watch what he does during the game, he affects that. They literally have no run defense against this.
It's not really fair, honestly, bro.
Offense against this man, no.
Yeah,
but he has 8 tackles. Oh, go ahead.
Got him that low. The fact that the Eagles got him that low and were able to snag Jordan Davis, from the Bulldogs to beef up that D line and have them both as D tackles is, I mean, it's basically a cheat code. Those guys are so young, so big, so strong. They're affecting the quarterback and runs almost every play when they're in. It's wild.
It's absolutely disgusting. But yeah, he has 8 tackles, 1.5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles. I mean, like I said, he doesn't really get into the backfield that much for like sacks and stuff, but he makes it to where the quarterback's a scramble, or they literally can't run the ball. It's where they have to start doing like RPOs.
He plugs holes.
You know, he
makes sure that the tackles aren't getting to the second line. They're not getting able to get to the linebackers, so the linebackers can still get their run fits.
Which is all you need.
Holes. Exactly. Huge, especially with all the playmakers they have.
He went to Georgia, right?
Yeah.
He was the one that had the accident, and that's why he fell. Yeah.
That's why he dropped so far, was because he was involved with the police and some type of speeding accident. But
people didn't want to deal with it for some reason.
The Eagles got lucky.
Stupid.
Damn, why do you?
Because it's nothing anymore. You know what I mean? You don't hear about it anymore.
Yeah, it's nothing now. But yeah, they got a steal in the draft for that.
He's definitely on the eyes for. I'm saying also for rookie of the year too. I mean, I know it's crazy to call out a defensive tackle, but just the way he affects the game. He does definitely have to do some more work, in my opinion, but he definitely could still possibly win it, if not at least defensive player of the year as well. I know we have Witherspoon that's going crazy too, but we'll definitely.
Yeah, he'd definitely have to rack up on the TFLs and a couple of forced fumbles. I'd say a couple more sacks to get into that full conversation. I feel like he'd have to affect the game in more of an effective way than just from a football understanding type of way. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's the only way they market you. If you got stats they can talk about on TV. So as a D tackle, that's the only thing he can do. It's not like he's gonna be in commercials and have his face everywhere.
Exactly.
That was the 9th pick. The 10th pick, 11th pick, really haven't really done much. Darnell Wright, I know he's been doing all right on the offensive line of the Chicago Bears, but obviously the Chicago Bears O-line still sucks ass.
Yeah.
The Tennessee Titans drafted Peter Skoforski. I don't really watch much of the Titans game, so I don't really know how he's doing. I really haven't heard much about him.
Yeah, I haven't heard much about him either.
But I have watched and heard this 12th pick, which is Jahmyr Gibbs from the Lions, which he hasn't been doing what I thought he would do, but he still has been balling. He has about an average of 4.6 yards a rush, 179 rushing yards on 39 attempts. Receiving yards, he has about 70 yards, 80 yards. But he's also behind a really good starting running back, David Montgomery, star, who has been balling out.
Blew the fuck up out of nowhere.
I don't even think it's been out of nowhere. Like, I've been super high on David Montgomery. He just didn't have a scheme in Chicago that fit him well, like he does now with the Lions, where he can actually run the ball, and there's a hole where he can actually run through now instead of running
33 points on my bench, bro.
Yes, I think the problem with Jahmyr is he has a huge upside. The man's shifty, he runs hard downhill, but his attempts, it hasn't really been a split backfield like they thought it was going to be between him and David. It's kind of more of like a 70-30 backfield for him, and he's getting in on 3rd and longs and things like that because he's more of a receiving back as well, and so that's kind of stunting his growth on his stats, I feel like, because he's not really getting those big 1st and 2nd down carries where he's can get those chunk yardages during the game.
But, I mean, Montgomery's gonna be running hard, and they're definitely as the season pans on, he's gonna get more touches. He's definitely got 17 games now, man. So
yeah, they're gonna grow him into his role for sure. I think they're just slowly letting him kind of get that feel for the NFL and kind of find his groove instead of just kind of throwing him to the wolves and really giving him 50-50 in the backfield.
And we're not talking about him, but shout out to Goff for not giving up and just
seriously
putting his nose to the fucking ground, bro.
100%. He found a system and a coach that trusts in him. And I think that trust and just, having a supported cast around the whole city of Detroit, just really grouping behind him, has really advanced his level of play and confidence in himself. Because, man, ain't nobody seen Jared Goff or expected him to play like this, man.
No, everyone thought he was going to be on the downfall when he went to the Lions. But Really, it's just a whole new him. So who really won in that trade? You know what I mean? Was it the Rams?
Well, they got a Super Bowl, so
but then they got a Super Bowl. But then that last year they went like 3-14 or whatever. They knew
that was gonna happen. They knew that was gonna. They bought that Super Bowl, and they understood after this it's gonna look bad. But you know what I mean? True. I'm not mad at buying a Super Bowl.
That's fair. Yeah, and at least they did win the Super Bowl because it definitely was. If they weren't winning it that year, it was a fail.
Yeah.
100%. They went all or nothing on that.
I'm still high on Jahmyr Gibbs. I mean, he definitely has high upside. He faces the Panthers this weekend, so good chance that he has a lot of potential to get some more rushes in this week. We're definitely going to have to keep an eye out on him for sure. And if Montgomery gets injured, he'll definitely be a good starting back.
I keep saying Mount. It's just Montgomery.
Whatever. Same damn thing. The 13th pick, I really haven't heard much. Lucas Van Ness from the Packers. I really haven't heard. He's doing all right. I don't know.
He's had a couple highlight plays, but nothing
crazy.
Nowhere to spend some time on him.
Yeah, not really.
And then Broderick Jones, OT for Pittsburgh. Really haven't heard much about him. Will McDonald, the 4th. I haven't really heard much about him. He's an edge for the Jets. And then Emmanuel Forbes, he's a cornerback for the Commanders. I don't even know if he's played, and if he has, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I believe he has. He hasn't really put up, any crazy stats. The Washington secondary has been getting shredded, their first few weeks. So
I can't wait to play him.
Not looking great for them in the performance they just had against the Bears. I mean, I don't know who was guarding DJ Moore, but
I mean, that's a complete meltdown. After everything that has happened in Chicago in the last 3 weeks, you let that happen? Man.
Yeah, they got to look internal for sure on that.
No, they need to fucking get rid of the goddamn team.
Next on this list, it's kind of hurtful for me because this man is out for the rest of the year, but it's Christian Gonzalez, quarterback for the Patriots.
Like I just told somebody the other day, they posted it on Facebook. I was like, y'all wasn't doing shit anyways, man. Let them rest.
Hey, no, okay. But to be fair, even if we weren't, we were still having close games and our defense was still stopping teams when we needed to. It's our offense that couldn't produce. And when Christian Gonzalez was in, he was locking down the receivers he needed to lock down. Let's see, bless me.
He had a good 3 weeks.
He had the upside to be a good cornerback, but then the bro just wants to go ahead and get injured for the rest of the year. But I guess that's fine. Let him rest. Let him get some more experience.
Hey man, I know how you feel. My boy Trayvon tore his shit, so I was in tears. I was crying.
Yeah, I think for Christian going to the Patriots is a great pick. The Bill Belichick, and he has something where he pulls something out of players, man. He finds that dog in them. He's got great defensive schemes. He really knows, the game of football really well and how to set his players up with the best opportunity to win. And so I think Christian Gonzalez has a very bright future, despite being injured and, missing a year. Just hope that he can bounce back the same player he was before the injury. It's really what we got to wait to see.
Yeah. I mean, I have faith. I always have faith in Belichick. He just phenomenal football mind on the defensive side and special teams on that side, because he understands players and their best attributes and then maximizes that. He's not like 99% of all the other coaches that says, hey, this is my scheme and I want you to do this, even though I know this has never been something that you do, which I don't know why coaches do that shit.
Me either.
Next on our list, I'm not really going to go through like all of them because a lot of them we haven't really talked about, but the next big one on the list would be Jackson Smith for Seattle. And he hasn't had the targets like everyone thought he was going to have. He's kind of getting outshined by Metcalf and Lockett right now, which is kind of unfortunate. But I mean,
but it's kind of predictable too. I mean, Lockett's been having big seasons, big numbers. He's their main slot guy. That's basically the same position that JSN plays, is the slot. So it's going to be hard to try and, infiltrate a rookie in there when, they already have that connection with with Geno and
I mean,
Tyler.
Keep it a buck. He's going to be he should be Lockett's replacement. You know, Lockett got 2 more years, maybe something like that. Because Lockett been out here for a while.
Yeah, he's getting up there in age for sure.
Honestly, it's surprising that his production has been the same over the last like 5 years.
Yeah, he's been super solid. Like, so I think it's just tough. I mean, I thought Pete Carroll was going to do a little more and trying to get him involved and, you know, try to get the rookie going. But at the same time, I think he might just be giving him time to develop and, you know, using him as that replacement. DK's young. He's going to be there for a long time. And just being able to replace Tyler Lockett after he goes with a solid wide receiver that, you know, can learn from him.
Yeah, and it's not good. It's not like they got Patrick Mahomes back there. And all respect to Geno Smith. I loved him when he was at West Virginia. I think he should have got more chances than he's gotten, but he's not the gunslinger. So I don't expect him to get the third wide receiver so many balls. And I don't expect
he's not big on progressions. So going through his progressions, he's really you know, if that play is going a certain way, he's going to look that way. And if he's got nothing, he's not a big improviser. He's not going to move around.
He's going to take care of it.
Exactly. He's gonna get hit a couple of yards, you know, and get down and live to see another down, throw it away. You know, he's not gonna be one of those players that, you know, are, you know, moving around in the pocket and, you know, making those corners play backyard football and, you know, get to those deeper third or fourth reads. I think he really trusts Kenneth Walker on the dump downs out of the backfield, which he does a lot, I've noticed. And they do a lot of quick hitters where it's designed to go to Lockett or designed to go to DK. So,
I mean, yeah, check back in on him and by, you know, like week 10 or something. We'll see something.
Thanks.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to do like a quarterly update of, you know, every 4 or 5 weeks, see how
they're
doing and stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely. Especially because injuries too, you never know. Some rookies definitely have to step up with some injuries and things as the seasons progress like that. So.
Which actually kind of leads me to the next wide receiver stepping up for injuries, which is Quentin Johnson for the Chargers. With Mike Williams out, he could have another good role. I know he has Keenan Allen and who is the other wide receiver? What's his name? It's blanking out of my mind.
Palmer.
Yeah, Palmer. I know he has them too, but I mean, I don't really know how much Herbert trusts Palmer because from what I've watched from Palmer, he's not the best wide receiver out there.
He's not the best route runner, but I mean, he gets open decent amounts.
But I like Quentin Johnson. He's fast. He has good routes, and he does have good hands. It's just Herbert can get him the ball. But I think he has huge upside with Mike Williams being injured. I mean, obviously, I know that's kind of bad to say that Mike Williams is injured, all that stuff. But, like, now he has potentially good upside. He hasn't had the year, like a crazy year or anything like that. I don't have the stats pulled up on him right now, but I know he'll have a solid role in the Chargers offense. What do you guys think?
He's in a great position. I mean, Herbert is one of the guys that's probably better than a lot of quarterbacks that get more TV shine. Like, he's one of my favorites. I like him a lot better than Burrow, than Allen, you know. So I like Herbert a lot. And if you look at his receivers, they're in the later end of their careers. So he's in a good position to, at the end of the season, get some legs up under him, and then going into next season really start showing out. But I like him. I think it's perfect. I think it's fine, and he's definitely better than Palmer.
Yeah, I think he's in a great system. I think Herbert's used to throwing to, you know, bigger receivers. He's got Keenan, who's 6'3", 6'4". He's got Mike Williams, who's 6'3", 6'4". You know what I mean? Big body. That they're going to protect the ball. He can trust them downfield. I think Quentin Johnson falls right into that role. He's a big body wide receiver. He's got speed. He's a threat downfield. He really forces the safety to respect that. And so I think that, you know, Herbert can definitely move with him and grow with him, you know, and do the same things he's still doing and not have to change up the type of quarterback he was to get the ball to him.
Is that a crazy statement? I say that about Herbert, and people are always like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? But I feel that strongly about him.
I really like Herbert. I think if Herbert had a better offensive play caller, I think he would be in the same bracket as those guys as far as wins, playoff runs, and just numbers all around. I think his play calling is that I've watched from the Chargers has been very suspect.
They've had a lot of bad calls over the last 3 years.
I think it's
100%.
that, and I think it falls on their defense a lot too, because like Herbert will throw up 35 points, 500 yards passing, 4 tutties or whatever, and then his defense will let up 7 touchdowns, 1,000 yards, and it's like
one of the best defenses on paper too. I don't know what's going on. Every year they should be one of like top 5 defenses in the league, and they're bottom 5 every year in rushing yards and passing yards. It doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't. It's freaking crazy. But hopefully they can turn it around though. They have huge upside with the players they got.
Some teams never do it. Chargers are one of them.
100%.
They've never done it. Never done
100%. Like Keenan said, they really might be cursed. I don't know.
They might be.
To believe it too now, though.
I'm starting to believe it. Next on our list is Zay Flowers, receiver for Ravens. He's been going crazy. Zay Flowers has about 10 yards of reception, 240 yards receiving on 24 receptions, which is freaking insane. He doesn't have a touchdown yet, but that's just because he doesn't have a quarterback that likes throwing touchdowns. He likes to run the ball a lot, which is fine, though. I mean, he's still 240 yards on 24 receptions is still great in itself. And if Lamar can have more time to throw the ball, I think he'll have a lot of upside, especially with learning from Odell Beckham and being able to learn from like players like Mark Andrews too and stuff like that. He has huge upside. What do you guys think?
I haven't had a chance to watch any Ravens games this season, so all I know is the highlights. So I really can't give you a breakdown on that. Sucks that Odell was hurt again, but at least you'll be able to coach him on the sideline.
True. I think Zay's in a good system. I think he'll be a decent help to Lamar. Lamar gets blitzed a lot because they have to keep him in the pocket and try to force him to throw the ball. And I think getting those quick hitters out to him, he's dangerous on screen plays and little bubble screens and things like that, slants that could really help bail out Lamar when, all these blitzes are coming and he's got one-on-ones. He's got speed that can kind of, threaten them downfield. And so I think he could definitely be a good part to the system if they end up using him right.
They need a offensive genius on the Ravens, man. Because
if they had somebody like Mike McDaniel calling their plays, it would be way different for them.
Because as great as Lamar is, he's never really had any crazy receivers.
No.
Which is that sounds weird to me. If I know that my quarterback isn't that great throwing the ball, then you have to overcompensate on the other side. To me, anyways, I don't know. I'm just a guy at home.
I agree.
But I feel like they could take that next step if they had a real genius on the other side.
Yeah, they're super predictable. I mean, Lamar makes plays, but those are just Lamar plays. You know what I mean? They're just that's him scrambling around in the pocket, getting downfield. They don't really have anything where it's a designed play or a schemed up play from watching film that week before, you know what I mean, that they schemed up that would work great. I think it's a lot of just Lamar improvising and a lot of Lamar making plays himself and creating them, which, you know what I mean, can win you games, but like we've seen, won't get you super deep into the playoffs because you become super predictable.
They're going to let Lamar become Cam.
Yep, that's what I'm afraid of.
Cam just went out there and just did him for years and years and years, got his ass whooped, and never had a real genius that could school him on football. You know what I mean? So, and then you wasted his body away, and by that time, it was over with.
Yep.
So that's what I see what happened with Lamar. Just going to waste his body away.
Unfortunately. 100%. That's kind of like it for like first rounders. There's not like, I mean, we talked like a decent amount about the first rounders, but there wasn't a lot like there usually should be. But there is some like that went later in the draft that are kind of shining, like Sam Laporta, tight end for the Lions. He just got done cooking the Falcons. Not gonna lie, he just got done cooking that. And then, but he has 242 yards on 22 receptions and a receiving tutty. He's good.
He's like top 5 tight end this year, maybe.
He might be. I know that I know Jared Goff really likes his tight ends, and so having a tight end that can move, he kind of reminds me of like a Mark Andrews. I know Mark Andrews is still kind of new in the league, and he's not like a super big veteran, but like he can catch the ball and then get downfield, and he's kind of shifty. He's not like a Travis Kelce where he's just gonna run it, and he's fast. He's not like Sam Laporta catches it and then he makes him. You know what I mean?
He can make cuts.
I like it. Yeah, I like it.
Change of direction.
He's a good ball player for sure.
Yeah, he's got a great build. I think the tight end position in the NFL has been going through a transition phase where we're going from bigger, bulkier guys to more athletic guys that are strong, but not just run blocking type players. You know, guys that can get downfield and really put pressure on those nickel quarter or nickel linebackers and dime corners. That, you know what I mean. He's a big body, so when you have a corner guarding him, it's simple for him to run a little 10-yard curl and body him off and get a good catch and things like that. So. And he's good in the run blocking, so he's got good size. He's not like a Kyle Pitts where, he's a little undersized from run blocking and things like that. You can keep him on the field for passing downs and running downs. So
Kyle Pitts.
Yeah, let's not get started on him.
Yeah, let's
keep
not.
it moving. Keep it moving.
Kyle Pitts. Does he have a touchdown this year?
No.
I don't even think he has 3 pass attempts to him all season. It's fucking bullshit.
I don't want to get mad.
that.
Why did you draft him?
I don't want to talk about it. All right, listen. All right. Well, Sam Laporta has been balling. I think he has really huge upside, especially for this system that he's in. He has great coaches, and like you said, he has a quarterback that likes to throw to tight ends, so it gives him a really big chance to shine. And I hope he does continue to shine because tight ends really, there's not a lot of good tight ends. And
let's break it down. After the guaranteed starters, if you're playing fantasy, is going to be like Andrews, Kittle, Kelsey.
There's really, anyone else you could.
Everyone else, you're kind of like, damn, is it his week this week or not?
Exactly. You're praying.
It's a hope. Yeah, you're hoping.
And there's some I feel like Logan Thomas, who gets at least 2 catches, 3 catches a game type shit. But you really want either Mark Andrews, Travis Kelsey, or George Kittle on your team. And so having someone else like Sam Laporta and
he got in that top 5.
Yeah, he's
checked up. Yeah,
keep balling. Hopefully he keeps doing that because hopefully that'll be more teams will be maybe we should start getting good tight ends, and now more good tight ends can be in the league for fantasy. I might just be selfish about that, but
he could be in the runnings for offensive rookie of the year.
He could if he continues balling the way he does.
With the numbers he's got in Detroit too, he's got a good chance at it.
Really good chance. Next person who kind of fall in the draft. He was drafted in the 3rd. Tank Dell, he's the wide receiver for Houston. I know we kind of touched on him earlier, but he has been going absolutely crazy. He has 267 yards on 16 receptions and 2 receiving touchdowns. And that's impressive. 16 yards a reception. What else can you say? That he's a deep threat, apparently.
I'd say right now he's definitely one of the steals of the drafts with the way he's performing. He's super athletic. He's got great ball skills. They do a great job of getting the ball in their hands, forcing the corners off and getting quick hitters, allowing them to make plays, get downfield. He's got probably decent yards after catch type yardage, just getting downfield, breaking tackles and being an athlete. And so I think he's got a great upside, especially with CJ throwing the ball to him as they build a stronger chemistry with each other. And, becomes that receiver that CJ trusts the most on the field, will kind of boost his ego too and kind of force him to play even better than he is now.
Yeah, and I think he has huge upside. And for someone who fell super far in the draft too, is this considered one of the steals of the draft? If he continues to keep balling, this could be the steal of the draft. You never know. Guys been balling, especially. I know CJ really likes throwing it deep, especially in college. He loved throwing it deep. He loved throwing them 20 yards plus. He loves throwing the ball. So Tank Dell has really big upside, and hopefully the coaching staff can keep him going. And it's really down to coaching. I feel like for Texans, man. And like I said, they're atrocious for just having good players, Watson and D-Hop, and then just throwing them out. You know what I mean? So we'll definitely have to keep an eye on Tank Dell, especially because he does have a rookie quarterback throwing it to him. We're definitely gonna have to keep tabs on him.
Rookie receivers, their legs get tired, man. Their legs get tired of the year.
The long year. It is a long year.
They're not ready for that shit.
Yeah.
People forget college is 10 weeks.
That is true.
NFL's
And you got
drug
playoffs
out,
too if you make playoffs.
much more contact, harder hits, longer games. Yeah, they definitely, it's something that you got to be locked in for and ready
Sometimes
to go.
harsher environments too, because like if you think about going into like the Chief Stadium, like on a
Mhm.
cold night, like the crowd's gonna be involved. It's cold, like the pressure of already playing against good players is there too. You know what I mean? So it's like,
Mhm.
hopefully he can keep it level. The next one, I have a really hard time saying his name.
Oh shit.
I think it's Devon Achane. I don't know. He's the running back for the Dolphins, but I struggle with his name like a motherfucker.
Is it Achai?
I
Yeah,
don't know.
I think it's either a Chine or a Chine. It just depends. I've heard them say
Achane.
it two different ways. Yeah.
I'm not sure. He's only played 3 games, and I know that the one game he Super Bowled out was against the Broncos, so there wasn't much to say about him. I know he had some good rushes against the Bills, and I think he had a tutty against the Bills as well. But the Dolphins are liking him, and it sucks because Raheem is a good ball player, but it seems like they're favoring this rookie more. The more the season goes on.
Yeah.
And so.
Yeah, he's in a great scheme. I mean, Mike McDaniels is just a mastermind when it comes to play calling and drawing up schemes and confusing defenses. I've seen a few plays where they use him basically as like a decoy because the defense doesn't really know much about him. So he's in the backfield. They're not expecting, too much from him. So in the red zone and things like that, they're having double backfield with Raheem and Devon, and then they're doing like an option and then flip back into a Chaney because nobody's really respecting him or respecting, what qualities he has because he's a rookie. So they're kind of using Raheem's speed and getting him to the outside so they get the flow of the backers and then handing it back off inside to use his speed. That's kind of a sleeper.
And he got speed too.
He's fast as hell.
Yeah.
No, yeah, he's
I
quick.
think he runs ran a 4.3, but he has great football speed.
Mm-hmm.
They got a whole team of speed demons.
Yeah,
Yeah,
say
they're
Dolphins
super
have a
explosive.
lot of speed on their team.
Yeah, and they got Chase Claypool now too, and Mike
Oh,
McDaniels
shit.
said he's scheming up for him too. He said, "You guys want me to stay
yeah.
He's fast." I was just,
And-
all right, man.
And he also has like Jeff Wilson Jr. to also learn from too. He's a very good experienced back that was a good running back when he was a
He had a short
starter
stint.
running back. He had a
He
little
had a
short
short
stint.
stint.
But he's good, and so I think he's in a good environment where if he stays healthy, he could grow as a running back and definitely be a top 10 running back in the league going into the future. I feel like
That was all right.
he has a good scheme around him. He has good coaching around him. You know what I mean? He
does.
has
We'll have to
potential.
see.
He has the
I mean, the
potential.
Dolphins have started off hot. I think this game against the Bills was big. I think it kind of exposed some of their weaknesses and some of the targets for defenses to kind of slow their offense down. So we'll kind of have to see how they respond going into like these next few weeks to the defenses finally being able to watch them have a game where they kind of got exposed and how their play calling responds to how the defense is going to come out. Because I'm sure the next few weeks defenses are going to be copying what the Bills did, mirroring, playing with the safety high, making a big emphasis on stopping the run so the play action isn't there. So we'll just have to see, how they respond to that and if they stay one of those top contenders and one of those top playoff contenders, or if they kind of start to fall off after, they get figured out.
True. We're definitely gonna have to keep a tabs on him for sure as well. Our next one, this kid's been a stud. Puka Nacua.
Puka. Ooh.
Man,
Guy
I mean,
has
nothing-
501 reception yards on 39 receptions, and he finally got his first tutty last week in OT to seal the game. I just don't understand how this man is always wide open. Like,
They must
I
just
did-
look at him and he ain't
I
gonna
fuck
mean,
it, bro.
he got blessed coming in, and I mean, it's not a blessing that Cooper Kupp got hurt, but I mean, it was a huge opportunity for him. And Matt Stafford not really having anybody else on the team that is a next go-to man. I mean, Van Jefferson is out there, but he's never really been that go-to guy for Matt Stafford. And Matt
Also,
Stafford's
at
really
2-2.
good at going through his progressions. So I think a lot of the times he's not finding Puka on that first route, but he's kind of going through 1, 2, 3, 4, and then coming back and finding him later on
10
those
yards
routes.
down the field.
Exactly,
Just
and
wide
finding
open
him
because he
as the
made
defense is
space.
slowly starting to break down. Puka's just really putting himself in great positioning to where Matt can find him and then making plays after he gets the ball in his hands. So he's got great potential. I mean, we'll have to see what happens after Cooper comes back, because we all know, Matt Stafford forces the ball to Cooper. He forces that.
it.
So
He loves
we'll
Cooper.
see if his numbers drop off, or if he still keeps that same respect for Puka after Cooper comes
Of
back.
course, they're definitely going to drop off. But I mean,
Yeah.
he's proven that he's solid enough, and it's probably his stats are probably going to go down anyways. It probably will help him with Cooper coming back.
Yeah, it'll probably open them up a little more. There won't be as many eyes looking at them, because they have to respect the fact that, the numbers that Cooper put up last year, they're going to have to be like, well, we can't let Cooper beat us. So, if Puka can beat us, then, we'll shake his hand. But, most defenses aren't going to lose to Cooper trying to help out and make sure Puka doesn't burn them.
No. And I really like Puka. He catches the ball. He has good route running, but like he said, he always finds the open space. He always likes to extend the play. Most receivers just their routes there, they give up. You know what I mean? No, he tries to make it to where his quarterback can get open, and that's another big thing for trust too. So
staying available, yeah, it's big, especially with a veteran quarterback like that too.
Nothing sucks more than for a quarterback rolling out or finally getting some room to throw, and then your receivers already quit. That's the worst, when they're like, come on, man. If you just kept fucking running. Yeah.
Super degrading, because it makes the quarterback not as willing to, keep the play alive and scramble like that. Because a lot of the times as a quarterback, if you keeping the play alive and you want to make that throw downfield, you're going to put your body on the line, because you're setting yourself up to get hit after you make that throw. And if you're going to keep getting hit after you try and make that throw, and there's nobody, working back from the ball or coming back to you, you're not going to want to do that. Just naturally, you're not going to want to keep getting smoked, near the sideline, to not have anybody open downfield to work with you or, work back to you.
And there's a good upside on him. I like him as a receiver. Hopefully he keeps balling out. Hopefully the system he's in keeps going with him. He has good coaching around him and a lot of good veterans around him to keep him going. So I like him. He's good. That's all I have for rookies though. That's the only ones I really like. I've really been standing out.
Yeah, we went on the rookie deep dive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And it's going into week 5 too. So it's like there's still a lot of game left.
Yeah.
There's a lot of potential for rookies to fall off, or there's a lot more potential for other rookies to step it up and go crazy. So who knows? Maybe Bryce Young somehow just ends up going crazy and turning it up the last 13 games of the season.
He's gonna turn Adam Thielen into 2018 Adam Thielen.
I guess so. You know what I mean? He's gonna have to at this rate.
I think he's got some a couple obstacles to.
Who's the running back on the Panthers?
Miles
Sanders.
Oh yeah.
They have Miles Sanders and Chuba
I never
Hubbard.
liked him.
Yeah.
Chuba, they need an O-line. So nobody else is getting the ball until the O-line can do something.
I was about to say Miles Sanders is an athlete. He's not one of those running backs that's going to go and make any, super crazy plays. If you get him in the hole with a linebacker, he can make a miss. He can get downfield, but right now there's no holes. You know what I mean? He's not able to get to the second level to even show that he's an effective running back downhill like that. He's mostly getting a lot of dump downs and just getting eaten up in the trenches when he gets the ball. So
yeah,
it's bad.
And that's all I have for rookies. I think my favorite for rookie of the year right now might be Anthony Richardson. That's just me personally. What about you guys?
Anthony Richardson and Bijan are going to be the top two. I mean,
I like that.
Yeah, that's top two right there.
Yeah, I feel like it's the same here. AR and Bijan. I think Bijan is definitely a little behind AR right now. I mean, I think he's electric when he plays, but his stats aren't quite there. He's got good yards per carry, but I think he's got to get a couple more touchdowns and get downfield, get some more yards stacked to his name. But if AR keeps balling the way he is and playing the way he does, getting the ball downfield, rushing touchdowns, things like that, it's going to be hard to beat him, for rookie of the year for sure.
It depends if Desmond Ridder can just act like a game manager at least.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, he just doesn't get the ball downfield. Falcons are stuck in a lot of third and long situations, second and long situations, so they're only running the ball that one time on first down, and it gets them into a long yardage situation, and now it's a throw and then a throw, and that's just tough when you have to split them out like that.
They should have went and got Trey Lance instead of letting the Cowboys keep him as a third
That's crazy.
quarterback.
Yeah, seriously.
That's crazy because that's literally what I've been telling Dante. I was like, so Trey Lance.
They should have did that.
Yeah,
we've been talking about it.
They're too set on this young quarterback. They have a lot of faith in him still.
Which is, I don't know. This is crazy. He was on the Bearcats as an okay quarterback. I don't know why they think that this second rounder was going to come and save y'all.
Yeah.
See, I listened to a lot of Atlanta Sports Talk Radio, and I didn't know what the fuck these guys were talking about. I was like,
I'm not sure. We'll have to see. I mean, he's got decent upside, but when it comes to reading coverages and feeling pressure in the pocket, those are things that, are not very good for him. And that just comes with, being able to play and being in the game and making those good decisions. He tries too hard to protect the football. He doesn't want to try and fit it in the windows or certain things like that. He's just rushing. He just doesn't feel like he feels confident in the system that he's in and what's expected of him.
And he played 4 years on the Cincinnati Bearcats. He looking at these boys like, what the fuck? These are different animals, man.
Agreed.
Yeah, but
I don't know. That's all we have for this one. I know we're gonna talk we're gonna start talking more college. We're gonna start talking more MLB, UFC, NBA when the NBA season starts. I know the preseason just started. Do you guys want to do a quick little thing? What do you guys think for NBA real quick? Like, who are your favorites? I know we got the Dame trade. Just quickly, who are your favorites going in? But in preseason right now, so we can look back, see if we were super wrong or super right. Who are your 2 favorites to go into the finals, or 4 favorites? What do you think?
Gotta be 4.
Yeah, I'd say yes.
I probably Bucks a favorite, probably Suns a favorite, probably Nuggets again, just because they're still a complete team. And
Fuck the Nuggets.
Who is another one from the East?
Celtics.
The East? Either the
Celtics?
Celtics or the Heat.
I'd say
The Heat? No way.
I gotta say Heat.
No way, bro. I don't like any of y'all that want to talk about the Heat. The Heat way overachieved. Impressive. I love Jimmy Butler.
I think so too.
You mean Emo Butler?
Yeah, I love Emo Butler.
I just think that they play with a lot of tenacity, and they just, even when we don't expect them to win, like, I'm not a big fan of them either. I think they are a team full of a bunch of C+ players basically, and they're all just kind of role playing for Jimmy Butler.
And they also lost some players too.
Yeah. So, and it bugs me, but I think that they have a lot of camaraderie there. They have a lot of support, and they play super scrappy and hard. And it's just, that shit has gotten them super far. And the East is not very strong.
No,
there's not a lot of.
It definitely got a lot stronger now that Dame went over there to the.
Yeah, I mean,
balance the power a little bit, like, for real.
Yeah, I'd say Milwaukee's definitely like probably the straight front runner right now coming out of the East. I don't really see anybody else that's going to be like a super competitive for them. And
who did the Celtics get?
They got Drew Holiday, and then wait, that's all they got out of everything,
yeah,
right?
I think. Yeah, they lost.
And then a few draft picks.
I mean, it's hard not to say freak time, if that's what they're going to call them.
True.
It's hard. Yeah, I mean, I guess freak time. And the West is stacked. I got the Lakers and I got the Suns.
Yeah, I was gonna say Lakers, Suns, and then Nuggets probably third, just because they're so
hit or
they're
miss.
so streaky. Yeah, you got Jamal. He's super injury prone, and their offense runs a lot through him. When they don't have Jamal, they're not the same team that they are. You know what I mean?
No.
When Jamal's hooping, they're a grade A team, but when he's not, they're C+. You know what I mean? So I think they're super streaky. It kind of depends on them. The Lakers are just, if they're healthy, they're always going to be a competitor if they're healthy.
It solely depends on Anthony Davis and his tortilla chip knees.
100%.
So yeah, it's all on him.
100%.
If Anthony Davis gets hurt again, I swear to God, I will find that man. I will find that man. And I don't know, man. I hate that dude so much.
Yeah, he's been bugged. He bothers me with how much he gets hurt too. That man's.
And then he says wild stuff. He says like he accepts no blame. I hate that man.
Yeah, it's tough. They got to figure that out. But if they can, they're a dangerous team, no matter what. With LeBron leading them and the support they have out of LA, I mean, they're a tough team to beat if they're healthy.
But I do expect him to get hurt and the Lakers to go through some trouble. I'm really sold on the Suns. The Suns had how much time last year together? A couple months.
Mm-hmm.
Like
true. And they just got Bradley Beal.
Like they taking nights off. Yo, you got 40 tonight. I'm gonna get 35 tomorrow. Like it's
facts. They can lean on I mean, the last time that we've seen a power three like that, like what, the Warriors, maybe, you know what I mean, that can put up points like that and run. They still get defense out of it. All three of them can defend. So it's like, it's just a matter of if they find that team chemistry or not. Because if they find that team chemistry, it could be trouble for sure. Because that's definitely 30, 60, 90 points right there from three players on the average.
I wouldn't mind seeing KD win one in Phoenix.
Yeah,
I like that actually.
I wouldn't mind.
Pretty dope.
What's the best matchup? Real quick, what's the best matchup out of those teams in the finals?
I would probably have to say a Suns Milwaukee one would be sick, just to see, because if it wasn't Damon Bradley never teamed up. Bradley was on the Washington Wizards.
Yeah, Brad was on the Washington.
I just think that would be a dope matchup to see Damian go against, 3 offensive scorers while having Giannis on his back. It's it's kind of like a 2v3 type shit. You know what I mean? So
I mean, the Suns could probably shoot. The Suns could shoot him out the gym, but Milwaukee could probably bully him with mentality and all that type of shit. Like Greek and Dame, that head case is like Booker and KD is kind of weak to me. You know what I mean? I love KD. I love KD, but you can get in their head, man.
Yeah, I think the Lakers would be a worse matchup for Milwaukee, just because the Lakers have those veterans. They slow the game down. They want to make you play their pace of basketball, slow it down, feed the paint, tire you out. And I think that could pose a threat for Giannis because of how hard he plays defense. And when on the game when he's playing defense the hardest, his offensive production goes down because he's running so much. You know what I mean? He just he can't expel that much energy on offense if he's doing so much on defense.
Bro, you know how much I would love to see. I would love to see 4 games in a row of AD and Giannis banging late in the year.
100%. That would be a great matchup. And I think it comes down to, I think Anthony Davis is better on offense. I think he has a deeper bag than Giannis does when it comes to post moves, paint moves, and finishing.
Oh, yeah.
But Giannis is a crazy defender. He's crazy long. He's crazy athletic. He just pulls moves out of his ass, honestly.
And he's not giving up on any play.
Ever. Not known for it. So I think that would be like one of the best matchups I think to watch in a 7-game series would be the Lakers and Milwaukee.
I'm getting too hyped about NBA. It's too early in the year, man.
True. Well, I do appreciate everyone that watches this. Like I said, it's a new little sports section. If there's anything that you guys would want us to talk about, chop it up about, it could be anything sports. You could let us know. Give us some more topics. We're going to try to make this a weekly thing if we can, because, we just love sports. We love talking about it. There's new shit that happens literally every week. You know what I mean?
Every week.
We got playoff baseball happening, NBA starting up, hockey starting up, football starting getting mid-season football. So, hopefully you guys like this type of content too, because, we're going to keep pushing it out for y'all.
Yeah, and we're going to make this unique. We're going to have different segments on this shit. Like, we can build something. It's going to be a weekly build, bro. This podcast
we're gonna have guests on. We're gonna have fun. You know what I mean? So I appreciate everyone for tapping in, man.
Yes, we appreciate you guys, man. It's awesome.
Episode 1, Flag on D Play podcast. What's happening?
Peace.
Can y'all feel that? Can you feel that thing that's oozing out your doggone hand? That thing is beating your doggone chest right now. Can you feel that? Can you feel what's about to happen on this field, man?
Can you feel that?
You feel that? That used to have me so damn hype. Let's get out of here.
Have a good day, y'all.